Hello, welcome to a special beer review because I'm not just doing one beer, I'm doing two beers. We're doing a taste off. We're doing a taste off of two beers I actually adore. And the funny thing about it is they're brewed in the same place and the breweries are across the road from each other. So I think I'm about 15 minutes drive from Massam in Yorkshire, and Massam in Yorkshire is home to the Theakston Brewery and the Black Sheep Brewery. Happy days. like they say, I would love to live in Massam, put it that way, because not only you got two great Yorkshire breweries, you got a load of pubs as well. Happy days indeed. Anyway, let's start with the first beer. It's from Theakston. I've actually, funny enough, before I begin, I've actually reviewed both these beers, so check them out. This is more of a comparison between the two beers as opposed to a re-review, if you know what I mean. Actually, I'm going to give a shout out also. I'm going to give a shout out to Terry's Quick Beer Reviews because he's a mint bloke, and check him out before I begin. So Terry, there's your shout out, mate. Good stuff. Right, let's get back to the beer. Right, the first beer is Theakston's Old Peculier. There you go, boys and girls, lovely jubbly. That's got the new jacket on, and I must say it is a nice jacket. And that is 5.6% ABV. Now, brewed across the road by another Theakston owned brewer, should I say, is Black Sheep Riggwelter. There you go, boys and girls. Coming in at 5.7% ABV. So you got two beers, similar strength, brewed across the road from each other, most probably similar styles as well. So let's go into a little bit of the history between these two brewers because they are connected. Theakston, second largest brewer behind Shepherd Neame, family owned brewer should I say, behind Shepherd Neame in the country, founded in 1827 by Robert Theakston. Came out of family ownership in 1984 and it was taken over by a brewer who was based in Blackburn called Matthew Brown, which in turn, funnily enough, they got taken over by Scottish and Newcastle. So in 2004 Theakston returned to family ownership. So that's Theakston for you. Black Sheep. Black Sheep was founded by Paul Theakston, who was the managing director of Theakston's, who left in 1984, hopped over the road, should I say, to an old brewery site called Lightfoot Brewery, which was actually bought by Theakston. This is where it gets a bit complicated. Which was bought by Theakston's a long time ago. So he bought that back off Theakston's, if you know what I mean, and called it Black Sheep Brewery after his wife suggested it, because Massam is famous for its sheep, apparently. Right, yeah, so I've got that right. So he went over and bought the old Lightfoot Brewery, which belonged to Theakston, in 1919, and he went back over and bought that for himself to, yeah. Anyway, let's crack these two open, because two similar beers, two beers I absolutely adore, and I think they're going to be belters. So let's crack the Theakston Old Peculier open first. A little bit of smoke there, plain crown, should I say. And let's crack open the Black Sheep Riggwelter. And that crown isn't as good as the old crowns. I used to like the old crowns. Born and bred in Massam, Yorkshire. Whatever. So, see what we get on the noses. Right, first, the Old Peculier. Nice, sweet, roasted maltness. Riggwelter. Oh, bloody hell, that's like twins. Slight hint more chocolate maybe. Do get the, I'll tell you what, that's slightly sweeter. The Riggwelter's slightly sweeter. Old Peculier, it's got more kind of like roasted maltness about it. That one, it's got like a hint of chocolate there. hint of chocolate about it. So let's pour out the old Peculier first. There she is. Pour out halfway. And now let's pour out the old Riggwelter. And there she goes, we'll get that up halfway. So, oh, bugger that one. So, we've got them out, as you can see. Old Peculier, quite dark, hardly any head, maybe down to my crack pouring of it. Let's give her a swell anyway. Give her a swell. Hint of caramel coming out there, definitely caramel coming out of that one. As you can see, the Riggwelter, it's got a nice bigger head on it, colour wise. I would say, bloody hell, I'll tell you what, they're pretty much, the Riggwelter looks more filtered. The Riggwelter looks more filtered than old Peculier. You do get a slight hint of chocolate, a little bit of caramel maybe. So just getting them both together. It's slightly sweeter, definitely slight sweetness about the Riggwelter. So let's top her up. So it's first the old Peculier. The hardest thing for me with this is choosing a winner out of these two, because it's gonna be more or less impossible. I think it will be for me anyway. So let's pour up. I mean, I fucked up, excuse me for me French, but I fucked up the pouring on my Riggwelter. It looks a right state. But the essence will be in the taste. So I'm going to go in with the old Peculier first. Nice full-bodied, slight bitter edge to it, maybe a hint of treacle, toffee there. Really nice. Here's a Riggwelter. Smoother, and quite a bit smoother. More of a subtle roastness about it. Maybe hint of chocolate about it. Theakston feels a little bit more rough around the edges. It feels not as smooth as a Riggwelter, but there's a lot more going for it, I think. There's a lot more bite to it. Bite in the back end of the bitterness of it. Maybe a hint of a spicy type of fruit about it in the taste. So let's go again in the Riggwelter. More subtle. You're still getting the slight spiciness. I tell you what, this taste off is really, really interesting because they are so alike in ways, in their taste. To choose a winner between these two, it's nigh on impossible for me. I love them both. I've had them both at the brewer and their respective brewers on tap, and they've been brilliant beers. And I can only base it on that. Really. Because these two, first off, if you haven't had these, buy them, cracking beers. Check my reviews out, proper reviews out of them. This is the most closest taste off I've ever done. Usually there's an out and out winner. Haven't done many taste offs, but I don't think I'm going to get a closer one than this. I'm going to go in one more time. So this is the Riggwelter, sorry, Old Peculier. Quite spicy. It's just nice. This is a Riggwelter. It's a dead eat, which makes this video completely pointless. Well, boys and girls, buy these beers. They're cracking. Buy them. They're top notch. For me to choose a better one, I can only base it on what I've had at the brewery. I have to say that this on tap at Black Sheep Brewery was a lot more memorable, maybe because I was a little bit more sober when I had it, than this one here. But all in all, they're both cracking Yorkshire beers. It's a dead eat. I'm 12 minutes in, I've waffled on, buy them both, have a good time on them, enjoy your beers. Thanks for watching this rather pointless one. See you again on my next one.